And we live. Happy Wednesday and welcome to another Everybody Can't Go Convo. This is your host, Jessi Holley. And today we are just going to jump straight into it. No need for updates and all of that, all the stuff. I've been everywhere, done all the things, and I'm just excited to go ahead and keep continuing on this journey with you guys for this year. So, we will get straight into my question for you today is I want you to really meditate on this, really think about it. What do you really want? And I don't mean just right now for the second. I don't mean like, oh yeah, I'd love to have a bag of cheese puffs or some hot Cheetos and a Coke. I mean, what do you really want your life to look like? Aside from what everybody else wants your life to look like for you, aside from all of the things that they saying, we still ain't figured out who they is. We still ain't figured it out. So, really, I want you to take some time after this episode. I'm going to give you a few things. But after this episode, I really want you to take the time to sit with yourself, by yourself, get your little mood music, whatever that may be, whether it's some nice little mellow stuff or if you want to get lit, thinking about what you really want out of your life. I want you to take some time and really think about it, for real, for real. The reason why I want you to do that is because my last set of instructions to you was, hey, take a look at writing down your vision, and gave you a few things for writing out your vision and then how to use that in goal setting for the year. So, thing with goal setting, by now, most people have given up whatever their New Year's resolution was or whatever was the new thing that we're embarking on. The gym should be about empty by now, and not just because of the time. I'm talking about check the date. So if you are a person that either started at the gym and fell off, or if you a person that you avoid the gym this time of year, I know I'm not going to no gym on nobody's January 1st. I said good day. Good day, sir. I'm not going. And the reason why I'm not going is because if you've ever made that as a New Year's resolution and you go in there oh, you know what? I figured it out the year it wasn't my New Year's resolution. That's how I figured it out. I had been going to the gym, and literally the difference between the fourth quarter and January 1st, that's what made me stop going to the gym until Valentine's Day or something like that, because it takes 4 to 6 weeks for all those folks to clear up out of there. Because I'm I can't even get a treadmill. What is going on? Y'all were not here in November. But that's neither here nor there. Okay, so by now, most people, they've either abandoned the New Year's resolution, they've overdone it. Remember, I told you don't overdo it when you were deciding what your goal set will be for the year. It don't even have to be a resolution. Really, you could just have a goal set for the year. That's fine. And don't do too much. And to make sure that you are staying realistic and true to what you put on that list of goals that you are going to go after for the year. Because remember, I told you guys that if you were planning out things that you're trying to accomplish 3 5-year goals in 1 year, it's not the goal's fault. It's not your vision's fault. You have to plan accordingly and be realistic and strategic in the planning that you're doing. So that's to keep your motivation high and to make sure that I think it's 80 something percent of folks by now that have already abandoned what they started out the year going after. So, because I know that y'all are winners, y'all are goal getters, y'all are my visionaries. I know that all of you guys did not abandon all of those things. I know that maybe there may have been a pivot or two. That's my letting you off easy. So if you did fall all the way off, I'm going to need you to go ahead and take that moment where I just said that you're pivoting, pivot, and get back on it. You don't have to do a whole big thing. Just start again. You already started, or you were planning on it and you just getting things set. Okay. So make sure if you haven't started or if you are still in your planning stages, go ahead and finish getting those plans written out and getting those plans set. put some dates to these things that you'd like to accomplish so that we can still have a successful year. I mean, January is but 1 month. Like, it's a little over 10% of the year is gone. Okay. A little under. Oh, I think it might be like 8% or something. Anyway, I'm not here for a podcast on math. So y'all go ahead and do the math on that, whatever the percentage is. The point is, it's 1/12. And yes, I said 12 with an F. But it's only 1 month. So if you have wavered or anything like that, make sure that you just start again. Just get back on a horse and continue with what it was that you set out to do at the beginning of the year. So the reason why I asked, what do you really want, is because I want you to take some time checking in with yourself and doing some self-reflection on whether or not you have been or have not been or have been kind of accomplishing those goals and things that you set out in the beginning of the year. Reason being, if you aren't on those things the way that you would like to be, it may require you to do a bit more planning before you get started, per se. And a lot of times when we're going after like goals or these resolutions and different things, it's real easy to, and y'all know I be talking about myself too. Don't forget. So I am talking about me. Because I've definitely joined a vegan challenge before for the camaraderie. It ain't had nothing to do with me, but I did it because I'm like, yes, oh, friends, everybody's doing it. I support you guys. So I too, in my household, is going to be vegan. Yeah. But why? Why did I do it? Did I really want that? Did I really have a purpose in doing it? I just did it because it was like, oh, this what the crew doing? Yeah. We about to ... So I want you to really think about the things that you wrote down. There are a bunch of like cliche goals that you could have written, or a bunch of like, it's like, oh, well, I just pulled it out the air. And it's like, did you really? Did you really take the time to sit, meditate, think on it before you wrote it down? Or was it just one of those things that, that's what everybody says, or like one of the common ones. Everybody wants to lose weight at the beginning of the year. Everybody wants to create a savings goal. What is it for? What are you losing weight for? Is this really about your health? Is this about aesthetics? Is this because you want to run up the stairs and not be winded? Is this because you want to be able to carry that pack of water from the car? Or is it just because, it's New Year's? I mean, it's January. It's time to insert ... after we eat our greens and black eyed peas. Like, really think about those things that you wrote down and analyze, is that what you really want? Or is that something that you may have even subconsciously made the decision to write it down because they, that we don't know, that it could even be the they that surrounds you, the they that is right by you, giving you positive feedback. And it may not have been anyone's ill intention. It may not have even been your intention to take someone else's positive idea for what you should be doing for you. Did you really take the time to think about what you really want? Now, don't leave up off this pod going and blaming nobody. If you like, you know what, I didn't really want to do ... but such and such said it was such a good idea. They were helping. Don't you go blame them, because it's not their fault. They may have just been trying to help, but you have to analyze what you really want. You have to take that time for self-reflection and make sure that you're self-assessing, spending time with you, and figuring out, okay, do I really want to do this? Is this in alignment with my purpose? This thing that I'm choosing to do, is it a step on my path towards accomplishing my goals? Is this a step on the path or on the roadmap? Is this a milestone on the roadmap that is going to get me 1 step closer, or 2 steps closer, 10 steps closer to building the vision that I wrote down on that page? If the answer is no, or if it's a hard maybe, I would encourage you to go back, get to that drawing board, and really think about, what do you really want? And remove all of and the reason why I say take some time alone, get your mood music if you need to, so that this doesn't turn into a conversation between you and someone else about what it is that you are trying to set out to do. If it's a conversation between you and anybody, you already know who you need to be talking to. Big homie upstairs. That's like, really take that time so that you can figure out whether or not the goals that you have set for yourself, is this really the path that you'd like to go down for this year? And is this really what you'd like to tackle? So this is important to staying motivated, again, because there's no point in you building this life or living this life that it's going to look awesome from the outside looking in. It's going to look great. It's going to look amazing. You're going to get to post all the pics and post all the videos. You're going to, get to make all the cute hashtags and whatnot, make your reels and your shorts and show everybody all this great stuff you've been doing. And you get to be tagged in all of these photos, all these videos and stuff. But if you are silently miserable when you get back to the crib, or you are not satisfied, if you're unhappy, like, those are all like just different levels of frustration and things that you shouldn't necessarily have to deal with if you're building your dream life. But we have to go back to, what do you really want? If you haven't established what you really want, what you actually want, I mean, what are we going to do about that feeling? That's if you have it. And if you don't have it, congratulations to you. I want to make sure that you won't get it by making sure that you are focusing inward and thinking about, what do you really want, and so that you're able to be sure that you aren't letting outside influences come in and, one, have you off the path from your vision and purpose, and two, have you just doing stuff just to be doing it because you ain't had no plan. Please believe, if you ain't got a plan, if you haven't written this vision down, if you haven't written out your goal set, if you just, somebody gonna get a plan for you, okay? And so it would behoove you to make plans for yourself, unless you know what, you aren't that type. That's why you're here. You aren't that type to just let somebody else make the plans for you. So make sure that you have the plan and that you have it down, and so that you don't get to that point where you're just looking around like, okay, either stuff not adding up, or you just like, it's feeling kind of mundane. Why am I doing this? It's because you didn't start with a plan for you. And even a step before that, you didn't ask you what you really want. And that will feed into what it is that you set out on paper and what you set your intentions on doing and accomplishing. So I'm saying this because I do want you to revisit that vision writing. Are you still developing that vision or not? Are you still developing it, or did you just take that 30 minutes to an hour, you just jotted down a few things, or did you just write your 3 to 5 goals and you like, that's good enough for now? I do want you to go back, revisit the vision that you started to write out. If you haven't started, go ahead and get that written. If you have the goals written with no vision written, get that paper with those goals on it. And I want you to use that to help you to write down your vision. Reason being, when you think about your vision in the long term, I need you to work your way backwards and make sure that those goals that you have set for yourself right now, make sure that they are feeding into taking you to where you want to go. Because I don't want you to go into this year, you're high off the energy of everybody's starting fresh. Everybody's starting new things. There are new partnerships forming, new classes, new cohorts, new this, new that. And it's easy to just see all of the shiny stuff everywhere. And you're just randomly grabbing stuff. All that stuff that you're randomly grasping at, if it doesn't go together, it might be fun. You may get some fulfillment. It may be helpful. But if it's not like in alignment to get you on the shortest path to somewhere, or in a path that makes sense, you may find that you just all the way over here when you needed to be going that way. Okay. So I want you to be sure that the different things that you're embarking on, that is something that will be beneficial to you, not just in the immediate, but in the mid and long term range as well. So while I was at PodFest, this was something that I had to do for myself. This was my first time going to such a conference. Going to this conference in particular. This was my first time going to PodFest. And the amount of information that was available. But did I go with a plan? A little bit. But there was a certain point where I was like, okay, look, Jess, time out. We have to set intentions and we have to be strategic. Because literally just looking at the lineup, when I tell you there's like 6 or 7 classes that you can be at from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And I'm talking about simultaneously. Do you think, like, y'all know how I am. Do you think I really just walked my little happy self in there on day one and was just like, yeah, I'm going to wait till I get there so I can pick something? Y'all know I would have been in there looking like I was herding cats, okay? I made sure to take a step back because the other thing was looking at all that stuff, it was like, ooh, this can easily get overwhelming. Why? Because I could give myself decision fatigue. We talked about the part about herding cats. Y'all know I'm just nice, fun, excitable. So it's like, ooh, let's go here, let's go there. All in my flight attendant. But my pilot was like, hey, get over here. We need to have a talk. And what I had to do was take a step back and say, okay, let me be strategic in the courses that I'm choosing. What do I actually need right now? I did have my end goal in mind when I arrived, but I didn't allow myself to just run free willy-nilly, just doing whatever, because all the information was good information. Was it the perfect fit for me and my needs? At this time right now, the answer is no. And we have to be honest with ourselves. Remember, I said, don't chase those shiny things. So that's the same thing that I want you to do. There can be all of this stuff that the info is great. It's great info. There can be like great opportunities, great things to do. Is it the right time? And does it fit with your goal list? And does it fit with your vision? If you haven't written it yet, how would you know? Which then makes you more susceptible to, I don't want to say wasting time, but kind of wasting time though. And the only reason why I don't want to call it wasting time, because you could have a ball. You could have fun. You could learn something. And you could also do something with that information. But if you just sat up there and learned step 17 and you have no idea what steps 1 through 15 are, 16 just floating, wherever, what's the point in you hoarding the information of step 17 if you haven't even started number 1? And hopefully that wasn't an ouch moment. If it was, my bad. I just want you to succeed. And of course, I'm only going to tell you things that I've already done so that I can make sure that it work. Because we ain't selling snake oil over here. We have a preference for rose oil for the hair. You feel me? So make sure that you get back to and revisit that vision that you started writing or that you are about to start writing after this episode. And make sure that you do those check-ins so that you are able to refine some of those details as needed as you're working through it. And be sure that when you are looking at what you have planned for the year, that you do a breakdown that is something that you will be able to be consistent at so that you're able to maintain that plan. And again, don't be afraid of the pivot. Don't be afraid of the pivot. I know we're only a month in, but, even with us only being a month in, if you need to pivot because you spent some additional time planning, you still have time to get it together and to execute on those goals that you have that you want to get done. I know I talked to you guys last year about the 4th quarter starting in September, October. That's cool. If you didn't get prepared then, that doesn't mean just sit and wait until fourth quarter of this year. You still have time right now. You can start now, or you can restart now, or restart again. Whatever it is, whatever stage it is that you are at for right now, the point is get on the wagon or get back on it so that you can get to those goals. Because I want you to win. I want you to win. And if we're doing this together, week by week, little by little, I promise you will get there. I promise you will. But you got to put that work in. You got to write the vision to make it plain. So then you can run with it. Run this town. Don't just run your mouth. Make sure that them hands and feet is working and you actually doing something so that those words on the page start to come to fruition and become tangible. But it's not just going to happen by osmosis and magic. You are the magic. So make sure that you get back to it, check in, refine. What do you really want? So I will go ahead and give you guys a shameless plug before we get out of here. Make sure you check the links in the show notes. We have the Spring Forward Writers Retreat coming up from my editor and one of you guys' favorites, Mel T. She will be back in the building with us so that we can go over what's going to be happening at the Spring Forward Writers Retreat. I am super excited for this. I will tell you that for sure. I'm excited. I already got my next idea for what I'm doing while I'm there. So I'm just looking for where y'all at. If you have a book, if you ever thought about writing a book, and I mean, don't hide. I know it's a handful of y'all, you thought about writing a book. You just ain't do it yet. Go ahead and click the link in the show notes so that you can check out how she will be able to help pull that out of you and get that book out of your head and onto the paper. And that's something that you might want to bring to fruition in your 2025. So click the link in the show notes, take a look, and we will see you guys next week for another Everybody Can't Go Convo.